Hey folks, welcome back. Matt here with 10 Minute Business at the Entrepreneurship Center in my definitely real and not fake virtual office environment. Last time we talked generally about the business model canvas. This video, we're going to talk about the customer segment block. So this was the customer segment, or the right side of the canvas without the revenue streams at the bottom. That's fine. We're just going to focus on the customer segments in this video. Follow along for the rest of the segments and then how to piece them together at the end. In this example, I'm going to talk about using a high-tech children's toy as the sample business for the right side. I think it's a good one because it's multiple users experiencing multiple problems. So the whole idea with the customer segments is you want to identify who is experiencing the problem you're trying to solve. I'll do another video series later all about problem, solution, fit, customer discovery, all that sort of stuff. But for now, let's just say that any good business is solving a problem for at least one customer group. And the customer segment block is where you articulate as much detail as you have about who those customers are and potentially what problems they're experiencing can be also useful to put in there. So like I said, we're going to talk about a high-tech children's toy. You can substitute whatever toy you want in here. I don't have kids, so I don't know what toys they're using. I was going to say like an iPad or Nintendo Switch or something. Doesn't really matter. It all works for this example. So again, you want to think about who's experiencing the problem that you're trying to solve. In this case, this is a classic example of a multi-user problem. You're solving a problem for the parents. They're the ones that are going to buy the toy for the most part. And generally, parents want to give their kids a fun experience. That's problem number one. They want to give themselves some peace and quiet, right? They want to give the kid something to say, all right, kid, go play with that toy for an hour and just be quiet and let me hang out for a little while. And some parents want to show off to other parents that their kid has the best thing. Whether or not they would say this is one thing, but I think this is a consistent fact across very many different kinds of parent groups. They want to show off, and they do that by giving their kid the best thing. It's very important, and there's nothing wrong with that, but understanding that motivation is really important as you're articulating your customer segments. And then the kids obviously are the other user group. They want to play with something fun. They want to have something cool to show off to their friends, and they just generally want to experience fun stuff, right? That's one of the best things about being a kid. You get fun things to play with. And you can also go into a little bit more detail about the different descriptors of these user groups, depending on how much space, how much information you have. More is better, obviously. You can go broad like I did here, or you can also use a customer persona approach, which I'm sure I'll cover at a later date, but I went broad for this example. So I would describe the parents in this scenario as being 35 to 55 years old, probably upper middle class to upper class, whatever that means. I'm sure there's a economic breakdown of that, but basically, reasonably well-off people who have university education. They have white-collar professional jobs. They care about status, and they care about giving their kids the best. So this goes back to our previous motivation piece. For this example, we'll call the kids 7 to 10 years old. They're active kids, but they're easily bored. They want stuff to play with when they're not at soccer practice or something. And they know that they can get what they want from their parents. And they also watch a lot of YouTube. So the reason I had that in there is oftentimes it's really useful to talk about what media people consume in your customer segment, so that when we go to the channels and the customer relationship segment, we have some clue as to where we might want to advertise and deliver our value. So that's also really important. So again, I'm going to take this information, I'm going to put it back into the customer segment block. There's lots more space there. I could have done this for an hour and really detailed it out, but I think you get the point. This is how I would describe the customer segments. After this one, I'm going to jump back to the value proposition block and talk about exactly what value we're going to provide to them with our high-tech fancy toy. So follow back for that one. See you soon.